What is good, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. The movie I'm reviewing today was recommended to me by Nicole Gorey and Jay Lon and is currently available for free streaming on Amazon Prime. This came out in 1972, so needless to say there will be spoilers in this video. Blacula is directed by William Crane and stars William Marshall and Vonetta McGee. William Marshall plays Prince Mamulade, who insults Dracula in 1780 Transylvania, is then bit by Dracula and given an unsatisfiable bloodlust and put in a coffin in Dracula's castle with his wife Luva, who was trapped in the tomb with him until 1970s couple of interior decorators or antique collectors come and decide to buy the interior of Dracula's castle in Transylvania and ship it back to Los Angeles. I can't imagine what those shipping costs must have been. And then once they get it back to LA, they have the genius idea of opening the coffin, and then Prince Mamulade has his bloodlust satisfied by being able to just let loose on Los Angeles over a beautiful and funky 70s soundtrack. Tina, who looks exactly like his wife, he falls in love with, and she cannot resist him. She falls in love with him. She can't resist him. Just like any classic Dracula story, he has a power over women and the woman he wants to have with him for eternity, who he believes to be his wife. Naturally, somebody gets suspicious. Dr. Gordon, who is basically the body doctor, he's like the investigator of the bodies, I think it's a pathologist, something like that, of the LAPD. He gets suspicious when he starts to see bites that aren't animal bites in all these victims that are popping up, and there's people disappearing all over. He gets to investigate him, leads him to Mamulade, who he then sets out a manhunt on, or a vampire hunt in this case, until he finds them, leading to my favorite scene in the movie where all of his victims are in a storage unit, or like a tomb almost, and the LAPD and Dr. Gordon are attacked, and off we go. That's pretty much it. It's just, it's a fun ride. It's going to lead me right to what I love about the movie. This movie knows exactly what it is. It is tonally perfect. Now, I'm someone who doesn't like typical Dracula or vampire story. I don't like that. I will suck your blood. I don't like that stuff. The old Victorian castles and stuff. But when you put a modern day flavor on the vampire stories, I actually really do like them. So something like this, I fell in love with, and we'll go into all the details momentarily. Candyman. There's a movie I'm going to be reviewing later on this week or this month called Let the Right One In. Even in an interview with the vampire, although kind of a little bit corny, I still like that as well. But this movie takes that vampire story and just modernizes it, and it is just a fun, all-out movie. So what Shaun of the Dead is to zombie movies, in my opinion, Blacula is to vampire movies. It has a funky 70s soundtrack, which Jaylon mentioned to me in the recommendation. I did not get into like 70s soul music, that funk vibe, until I started collecting records. So I immediately tapped into that once, like from that first time I first heard like Sam and Dave, Isaac Hayes. It has that vibe. And also this movie, it sticks to the lore of vampires, all the old legends, stakes. They're versed to crosses. They can't go out in the sunlight. Anybody he bites turns into a vampire, which I mentioned in my favorite scene. All his victims come out and attack the LAPD in 70s style fashion. That's my favorite scene in the movie. The whole movie is good. It's 90 minutes long, and I cannot forget, every woman in this movie is absolutely gorgeous. Vonetta McGee, who plays Luva, and Tina is the cream of the crop. She's a 11 out of 10. But every other woman is at least an 8 or above. I love when black women wear their hair in that 70s style, that natural. Oof. And Tina is absolutely gorgeous. Oof. Yeah, and you have this perfect soundtrack over the movie, and it knows exactly what it is. And I mentioned it, I don't mean to reference another movie in this, like Halloween Kills. That movie was tonally here. Oh, scary, funny, scary, funny. I didn't know what it was, drama. It's all over the place. This movie is a comedy with a vampire story layered into it. perfect. What Shaun of the Dead was to zombie movies, this is to vampire movies. To me, this is a classic. I'm mad at myself for never watching until now, but I'm glad I did. I don't watch a lot of vampire movies, as I mentioned, but this is gonna absolutely be a part of the mix. Not much I didn't like about it, because it knows what it is. The only negatives can be construed as positives. It's clear that most of the people in this movie are not actors, other than Thomas, I believe I probably mispronounced this, Rasula, who plays Dr. Gordon, and William Marshall, who plays Mamulati. Other than them, it's clear that the acting is not there. Those two are great actors. I actually enjoyed. They were pretty. They knew the movie they were in and did a great job acting. William Crane, I found out, he was one of the first African-American directors from a major film school. He went to UCLA Film School to get like national accreditation. So I thought that was pretty cool too. I looked that up. I wanted to look him up as a director just to see what other work he did. But yeah, he did. This movie is fun. And again, it's 90 minutes long. It's right up my alley. Yeah, the acting's bad. It's got the makeup is bad, but it's all in context to the film. It knows what it is. If these actors were in Shawshank Redemption, or that makeup was in like a serious Batman movie, yeah, it wouldn't work. But for this movie, it works perfectly. I love it. Thank you, Jaylon and Nicole, for recommending it. I believe there's sequels to it. I'm 99% sure there's sequels to this and other like iterations. I don't really want to watch them. This to me is just perfect for what it is. I've ruined so many other movies and stories by watching the sequels. I'm not going to do it with this. This is going to be a staple in my 80s catalog, along with my other vampire movies that I like. I mentioned like Let the Right One In, Candyman, and this is going to go right along with it. I only like a few, but this is going to be one of them. Again, thank you for the recommendation. And guys, thank you for spending a few minutes with me today. I greatly appreciate your time. I will see you all again soon. Please take care and be well.